What's up, you guys? Welcome to the series of how I bought my ex-home. Today we're going to talk about how I used Bitcoin to buy my third rental property. So I'm going to list the video right here and in the links down below of how I bought my second property, which right now is being turned into a Airbnb. The project is not done yet, but I'm going to make a video of before and after I'm done with it. In the video, I discuss more about the numbers, what I bought it for, how much it's worth right now, and how much the renovation cost me. But let's start with today's video, how I used Bitcoin to buy my third property. My third property is a 1,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom with a carport, and the carport is important because that can be eventually turned into a master bedroom with a bathroom, so the property will become 4-2. It's gonna cost me around, I would say, $20,000 to do that conversion. I bought it in March 2020. So it was here on the record, it says middle of March, but I closed more around the 20th or so. And actually the country closed down end of March and CARES Act was passed at that time. Purchase price is $115, but I actually bought it for $112, which is insane because at the time of the purchase, right across the street, there was a property, I'm gonna look at it right now, that sold exactly the same property. It's literally, my front door looks at that property. It sold in April, like a week or two after, for $140,000. So that's an immediate grab of, what is that, $28,000 immediate equity grab. And right now I see this property is under contract, so I guess they resold it for $175, 3-1, same square footage, same layout, everything is the same. Maybe it's a little bit more renovated. No, actually it's not, it's the same. Actually, you still have pink tile on in the bathroom, which is super back in the day type of stuff. So they didn't even renovate it and it's $175. So it's fair to assume that today my property is worth $175 at least. And I'm looking at a couple of comps here to see into that neighborhood what has been sold. I see 170, 170, 170. So basically those, and I have one here for 200,000, but it's 200 square foot more. So in this vicinity, so I can easily say it's 180, for example. 180, I bought it for, let's say, 110 for easier numbers. So the property gained $70,000 for 1 year and a half. I believe we're about 1 year and a half into this. Since last year, March. Today is August 13 when I'm recording this video, so year and a half. It gained quite a lot of equity. It gained about 60% in equity for a year and a half. That's insane. If I decide to sell now, if I'm going to be using the money for something else, I can actually capitalize on a gain of almost $70,000. Actually, it will be more than 70 because my tenants have been paying the rent and the principal pay down for the last year and a half. That doesn't mean I can buy a better property because, like I said, if I sell this property for 170, the same property right now, or 180, the same property right now is worth 180, so I'm not going to be able to buy something better. But how did Bitcoin comes into play? So I've been investing in Bitcoin and I've been buying between, I would say, $7,000 to $12,000 in that range into this specific time. And I remember I had 2 full Bitcoins. And at the time, I believe Bitcoin was 9,500 or something along those lines. Almost $10,000 was Bitcoin. And I remember thinking, if this property is $30,000 undervalued, it was a company, rental company that not a rental company, but a company that was renting properties. It was not an individual. I never met them. They were actually never seen the property in person. They bought it out of state and they had a managing company who was doing a poor job according to my tenants. If I actually gain 40K in equity today, I don't know what's going to happen with Bitcoin. It might skyrocket, which happened. Bitcoin hit $50,000. And with my purchase price, I bought Bitcoin, like I said, around the same price, $9,500 to $10,000. I was doing daily average. So basically I sold Bitcoin. I believe I was $20 up or something along those lines. It was something very minuscule that was actually, I made a few dollars. It was not a winning or a losing position. But I decided if I sell the Bitcoin and I cash out 20K and I put down 20K for this property, I'm making 40K today. Not even, because you cannot speculate about the market. Right now I'm gonna make, 70K. But this is speculation. At the time of my decision, I did not know that. Have I held Bitcoin for 1 year? I was gonna cash out $100,000 with a $20,000 investment, right? So now I'm making 80K, which actually is the same. If I decide to cash out from the property, I'm going to make 70. So I guess Bitcoin wins by $10,000. But with Bitcoin, if I cash out, I need to pay taxes. So had I kept the Bitcoin and sold it for $80,000 profit, I would have to pay taxes on it. And it's going to be 15%, I believe, long-term capital gains tax. With the property, however, if I cash out $70,000 profit, like I've talked in other videos, I'm going to leave a link down below and a card right here for my real estate playlist. I do not have to pay taxes if I defer that income with 1031 deferral tax exchange, which is a great strategy. I hope they don't remove it because Biden was trying to remove it. But anyways, I made a decision. I sold it to Bitcoin and I put down as a down payment 15%, which was $18,000 if I remember correctly, on that property. And now I'm going to check my spreadsheet to see exactly how much I put, because as you know, I keep pretty good spreadsheet. Amount put down is $18,275 down payment, which again, it was from my personal money that I've been investing in Bitcoin through the years. I mean, maybe I started 8 months before I actually sold the Bitcoin to invest little by little. Now, later on, I see here into the expenses category. Now I see here in my expenses sheet, I got $350 for inspection, $275 for septic inspection, $272 for septic pump out. You would like to do those things if you have a septic system, just to make sure everything is okay. And if it's not, maybe you can negotiate lower price, which I did. $3,000 was deducted for various things that the inspection discovered. Appraisal, $550. If it's an owner-occupied property, it's $500. If it's an investment, they catch you with $50 more. It's how it is. It's the price of doing business. Later on in July, so that's 4 months after I bought the property, I had to replace the HVAC system, which it cost me $4,000, but what are you gonna do? I knew the AC is a bit older, but it just stopped working in the middle of the summer. The tenant stayed a few days in a hotel. I covered that cost. I didn't have to, because in Florida, you are not obligated to provide AC, but you know, put people before profits. Then in July, after I replaced the HVAC, a couple days later after we replaced it, the insurance company who said that the roof is okay, it's 15 years old, dropped me out of the blue saying that the roof needs to be replaced. So what are you gonna do? $5,500 for a roof with new beams because the beams were a bit rotten. So yeah, that cost me that, and we did some duct work for $2,800. And that's it. Pretty much that's all I spent on the property. It's almost $14,000 that I spent on it after I purchased it. Now the property has a decent cash flow. As I can see here, it's $300 a month flat gross cash flow. That does not account for, that's basically rent minus mortgage. It's $300. I still pay PMI on the property. And when I asked when I'm gonna stop paying PMI, they told me I need to pay $18,000 more so I can stop paying PMI. So I haven't refinanced it yet, but my strategy now is to refinance it after banks and credit unions start making refinancing with free closing costs. Basically, I want them to cover my closing costs. That's 3%. If the property appraises on 180, 3% is what? $4,600, $4,800? I'm not paying that. So when they start doing this and they want my business, they want my loan, I'm going to make him pay for closing costs and we're going to refinance the property. Maybe I'll cash out, maybe I will not cash out. We'll see how it's going to go. If I have another project, I'll cash out. If not, I'll keep the $300 gross cash flow. But after I remove the PMI, I believe the PMI is right around $100. I'm not 100% sure, but that's going to increase my cash flow with 25%. So all in all, 18K investment, that makes me $300 a month. That is $3,600 gross cash flow per year, not net gross. But the rent right now on this property is $1,035. The rent for a property like this into this neighborhood right now, as we speak, is between $1,800 and $2,000. So if my tenants leave and I make the rent $2,000, for example, let's take a smaller example. Let's take $1,750. My mortgage is almost $750. Let's say I charge $1,750 for the property. That's gonna give me a gross cash flow of $1,000. So total expense on this property, when I add the $18,000 and change down payment, I add almost $14,000 in expenses, and I add all the mortgage I've paid so far, comes to about $42,000. So from that number, I'm gonna minus the rent that I've received, which is gross rent. So that's 15,500 in rent. All in on the property, I'm minus $27,000. Again, this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a long term. As you can see, right now the property is up 70K in equity. In another 9 years or 10 years, the property is gonna pretty much double in value. And I didn't mention here how I depreciate this property with a little bit more than $4,000 each year. Plus the principal pay down that the tenants pay for me is about $2,000 to date. Let's go to the app deal check. I'm pretty sure I have the property here to tell you how much was at the time my cash on cash. So on a purchase price of $112,500, which I guess that's the actual number, and I financed, I put a down payment of 18 and change. That brings the cash on cash return to almost 15%, which at the time people were looking for 12% at least. That was almost 15% cash on cash. Cap rate is 9.2%. People at the time were looking for 8%, was pretty much the standard. So I think I got a good deal on this one. And all I can say is that I'm very happy that I did that decision. I made that decision. I purchased that property, sold the Bitcoin. A lot of time people ask me, aren't you like, don't you feel bad that you sold the Bitcoin? No, you can only make a decision at the time of the event happening. Everything else, what's gonna happen tomorrow, is just a speculation. If any of you know what's going to happen tomorrow with the real estate market or the stock market, please let me know. Because people like me who invest, we have no clue what's going to happen tomorrow. We can only see the deal today and value it today. Yes, we can speculate that tomorrow is going to be better, tomorrow is going to be worse, or tomorrow is going to be the same. But none of us know exactly what's going to happen. It's all a speculation. I hope you guys enjoy and like those type of videos. If you do, please give me a like and give me a comment down below if you have any questions. That's going to help me propel this channel tremendously. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Keep hustling. I'll see you next time.